Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm George and this is the Let's Talk Horse Business podcast. In the last episode, we looked at the R of my REINS system, which was all about reframing your thinking, the mindset behind your business, where we all seem to lose track when we're so busy running around doing the day-to-day tasks. It was all about building the foundations for a profitable mindset and how we need to get the direction of where we're going. It was all about getting hold of those reins, steering us on the horse, if you like, into the direction we want. We wouldn't sit on a horse, leave the reins on the floor and expect it to go where we want it to. Today I'd like to dive into the next step of the system, E, engage. And this is where we talk about attracting the right clients, stop undercharging for your business, and how you build a business full of people that get it and get you. I think we had mentioned in the last episode about building your tribe. Well, this is exactly where we are getting to here. If you're still trying to serve everyone and wondering why the business isn't working, well, this episode is your wake-up call. So what am I meaning by engage? What does that really mean? Because engage is very, very vague at the outset. So here we're talking about engaging with your clients. We also touch on engaging with your teams and how you're going about doing that. It's about showing up with the purpose and the clarity so that your ideal client knows that you're speaking to them. It's about connecting people you actually want to be working with and that align with you, your vision, and what you are putting out into the world, because not everyone is ever going to be for everybody. So this isn't just talking about marketing. It's not talking about social media necessarily. It's not talking about, picking up the phone and talking to people. It's actually aligning your business identity with your messaging and your offer. And with those things come the alignment with your pricing and your ideal clients. So there's a number of other little steps in there to look at. And if you ever said, why do I keep attracting the wrong type of owners? Well, this is why. Because your messaging and what you're offering are not aligning. You are not aligning with your clients. Now, why is this important? Because the people that you're going to serve shape your business. The culture that you build shapes your business. The people that you are serving and are coming in and out of the business, well, they are your business. Now, it seems to me that most business owners seem to try and align themselves with everyone else's expectations. And I've seen this time and time again where you're struggling to quite make ends meet, or you're not quite hitting the direction that you want to go in. But because of financial strains or time restraints or, the needs of the business, you just tune into what your current clients are expecting of you and offer them that again and again and again. But you'll end up tired, you'll end up resentful, and you'll certainly end up underpaid. So engaging with the right clients is where we then need to look. It's reducing stress and miscommunication. As soon as you start realizing who your target audience are, how your message and your business is aligning with those right people, can you imagine the stress and miscommunication reduction already? It allows you to set boundaries and feel respected. No longer are you running a yard and being dictated to by the people on the yard, worrying about everything that they think. Start instead setting the boundaries from the outset and allowing people to come in that work with your own space and work with you. And with that, you're going to, like I've said already, you're going to feel more respected. You're going to build a relationship that suddenly becomes more enjoyable. It starts to create a business that will feel like yours and not something that you're doing to survive. And I think that's so important because some people equestrian businesses have a habit of being started from a bit of a hobby side of things. And maybe you can resonate with this. You wanted to have your own horses, and to make it work, you thought you'd have liveries, and you've had a livery, and that shaped your next livery because the culture's being built. And those liveries say they want something, so you shape your business around those. It's very easy to talk about liveries in this case, but it happens across the board. I've seen other business types, farrieries, where you have people coming in the business to be trained, but those people are not fitting with you. So suddenly you find yourself being put out and feeling resentful. So it's very much about engaging with the right people. But to do that, we need to look at how you do that. What is your messaging? The wrong clients are going to cost you more money than the cost of the time to make the change. The wrong clients cost money, they cost peace of mind, they cost your reputation because they're not aligning with you, so they're not going to be necessarily saying what you want them to be saying. You want to work with people who value what you offer, trust your experience, and are happy to pay the right prices. And again, this all comes down to your messaging and how we're engaging. So I've told you what it is and why it's so important. Now let's look at how we can go about doing this. Now there's a number of steps that we can take here, and I'm going to outline a few. We haven't got long in this episode, so bear with me. But again, if you need further support, please feel free to get in contact with me. So step one in this process is actually defining who your ideal client avatar is. Now the word client avatar is thrown around all the time, and everyone has their own interpretation of how you do it. Let's focus on liveries because it's sort of the easiest place to put this into practice for me. What kind of horses do you own? What kind of discipline do you like? What kind of space are you creating? Because this is all part of who you want to then attract. And then you go, well, my ideal client avatar is going to be somebody that has a similar interest in that type of horse or that discipline. They're going to have a similar interest to me because they are this kind of person. What is their attitude around their care of the horses? And what's their communication like? So every client is going to have their own expectations, and some of those are going to value the professionalism of a yard. Some of those are going to value your knowledge on the yard. Some of those are going to be looking for safety and making sure that everything's really secure and tight and tidy. And others are going to be looking for results, the results that you've had with your liveries, or the outcomes that you're producing. And then others will also look for attention for detail. Are the beds immaculately clean every single day? Do you have the most stunning, harrowed and well-kept arenas? And these are all things you're going to have to now decide. No longer are we running a livery yard for anyone that will pay you the money. You're now going to set how much that is and work backwards and work out who your client avatar is. You need to be specific. Not anyone with a horse is your client. You'll have a niche, and I'm sure that hopefully as I've been talking, something's resonating with you. The type of horses, the type of people that come with those horses. How much money we can go into much more detail than that. This is very surface level. We can also start looking at your client avatar. How much money do they earn? Where do they come from in terms of geographically compared to you? Are they an hour from you, half an hour from you? Are they really rich people who don't have the time for their horses, and you want to make sure that these people might be a lawyer in central London and just want to see their horses at the weekend because that's your client that you're going for. You want to offer a professional, high top quality service. So we need to start thinking about these parts. If you need more clarity on that, please get in touch with me. There's so much more to it. But that is the first step. Who is your client? The next step is the clarity of your messaging. So alongside you looking at your client's avatar and sort of being able to pick and choose, we then will go, well, how do we target those people? And that's all about your clarity in your messaging. Whether you're using social media, a website, word of mouth, the messaging you're putting out there is going to attract or detract the clients. Don't be afraid to say what you don't offer, because clarity will repel the wrong people and attract the right ones. So don't be afraid to say, I'm sorry, I only offer X service for X people because I specialize in this. You might have, okay, let's think about this. You might have 3 empty stables and you're panicking a little bit. You need to fill those stables. You could fill those stables tomorrow for £500 a month. Easily, probably. But is there more value in knowing that you offer the high level service and actually getting one or maybe 2 that are paying £750, £800 a month or £1,000 a month? So don't be afraid to say what you don't offer. We have to go through this process. And it's very hard if you're currently running a livery yard and you have a mixture of clients, or you have just been taking in anybody. But start now. Sit down and say, right, who are my clients? What's special about what we do, about me, and about the culture I'm building? Because then you can attract the right people. Then say, well, how are we putting that out into the world? What are we saying on our websites? What are we putting on our social media? Is it hitting the standards that we are already setting ourselves? And then that takes us to the next step, which is about upgrading your presence. So upgrading your presence is all about the brand that you're building. Now, I don't think, as we're looking at this in terms of liveries, that many people think of themselves as a brand. They very much think of it as very transactional, I just don't think people think about it in a sophisticated enough way. But actually, you are creating a brand. You are that brand. The brand is no longer about the business and the logos and the fancy designs. It's actually about you. So we now need to upgrade that presence. We now need to be aware of it. What are you putting out into the world? The tones that you're using, the way you answer the phone, even that will reflect who you are. Are you answering it when you're really busy? Yes, what do you want? Are you answering it and saying, hello, it's George at Frontier Transport. How can I help you? That's what I sound like, a bit cringe. But how are you going on about doing that? It makes a really big difference. Are you offering a premium service? And if you are, how are you portraying that to your clients? When they arrive on site, is it clean? Is it tidy? Is everything in its place? If you're offering a really premium service, is your arena harrowed every day? Are your fields looking luscious and green? Is your maintenance guy sorting out the hedges? What are you doing to portray this presence? Step 4 is all about the packages that you offer around your value. Again, nobody really thinks about this, and this actually comes more into the marketing messaging. Everyone can say we offer DIY, full livery, sales livery, training livery. But what does that mean? Because I have seen it and I've experienced it where one person's part livery is someone else's full livery. I've seen it where you say it's training livery, but it's ridden twice a week and maybe lunged once a week, but someone else is doing 5 days ridden. What is that? And how are we putting that message out there? We need to be clear about what's included in your packages and make that really, really clear on your marketing. But it's not just stating everything. I've seen adverts that state everything down from the fact there's nuts and bolts holding the stables together to the CCTV to the type of surface. But what is actually important to your clients? And that is what you need to target. They are the 3 or 5, maximum 7 things that need to be on your marketing messaging every single time. Show why your yard is different. Why are you positioning yourself in this way? What are the advantages? Obviously, be aware of the disadvantages. We don't market those, but use those to help you direct your marketing as the way you want it to go. And build an offer that your ideal client needs. Not just what others are doing. Oh, this is a pain point where I speak to people and they say, well, down the road they did. Across the way there, they offer. I don't give a shit what other people offer. Design what you are offering and build it from there. Because if they're down the road and they're charging £500 and you're trying to offer £800, and the only difference is the fact that you've had 25 years experience, you've got the perfect stable block, the nicest arena, then why should you be charging what they're charging? Don't do it. Separate yourself and you will find your clients and they will come to you. And I've got a little quote. When you speak to everyone, you're actually speaking to no one. Your yard or your business or your service isn't going to be for everyone. And that's a good thing. And that's something I've learned in the horse transport business, where I have started out in one area, I've moved to another area, and actually I've started to notice that I'm attracting a certain type of clientele. As soon as I start marketing to those people, in which I've started doing, the work is increasing, the quality of clients is increasing. I'm no longer trying to please everyone. I stick by the fact that we're a high value service, that we use the best vehicles, that we have qualified, insured, everything is done to a T. And so I want the clients that respect that and appreciate that. And that's exactly the same in your business. So some of you will be listening now and thinking, oh, it's all a load of rubbish maybe. You might be thinking that. You'll be thinking, what if I change my prices and no one comes? What if I change my marketing message and it upsets some of my current clients? Well, let me change that for you. What might happen if you did do it? You might stop getting inquiries from people just price shopping and making you drama and more work. If you made this change, you're going to you might find people that actually make a decision on what they offer, and they don't need to price match because they know who you are and what you're there for. By doing this, you'll attract the people who respect you and your business. They respect your policies. They're going to align with your vision. They're going to be part of your culture. And altogether, how much better will you feel? I can guarantee by taking these steps, you're going to gain time back, you're going to gain energy back, and you're going to be a whole lot happier with the way you're going and your business. You won't be any longer managing the chaos of keeping everyone happy, but instead leading your business to work for you. And that's exactly what I'm here for, and exactly why we go through these processes. This is the step where your yard or your business can start to feel aligned with you. You start to enjoy what you're doing, and actually it doesn't feel like a chore anymore. The best way to build a dream is to stop building it for the wrong people. So the best way to start building your dream yard, the best way to start building your dream business, the best way to start building your dream life is to start building it for the wrong people. Stop building it for the wrong people. Design it for you. And if you're sat there thinking about this and thinking, oh, well, I'll do it later, or I'll give it a go later, or perhaps you've been writing some notes and they're just going to be put on your side, you're going to go back out to do the horses, and lo and behold, it'll be 9-10 p.m, you'll come in, you'll be too tired and go to bed. Well, that's why I'm going to tell you, you should do this now. Take 10-15 minutes now and start making some steps, because every day that you wait, you are holding back on your own happiness. You are holding back on finding the peace that you want with your business. Start by you can do things like starting to update your bios on your Facebook page, rewriting a sort of a vision or mission statement of where you're going with all of these steps in mind, your client avatar, who they are, what they do, where they've come from. Rewrite your service descriptions. Go on your website and just rejig things. But take a step today. Action today is going to give you the results tomorrow, rather than putting it off and expecting them to happen overnight. So this is the second step of the REINS formula. It's quite an in-depth step. I've sort of I haven't rushed over it, but I've sort of glazed over the key elements of it. But in order to start seeing this transformation, we've already worked on our mindset if you listen to last week's episode. Well, now let's start making the change and start engaging with the right people. You'll be changing it from chaotic to organised. Get rid of the people-pleasing operation to a smooth one. And increase the standards of your business and attract the respect that you deserve as a business owner. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear from you. Please always feel free to reach out to me on social media at any time, because I'm really passionate about helping people grow in this space, because the equestrian industry is not easy. And if you're listening to this, I expect you know that. And there's nothing better than working together. In fact, there is a quote which mentions that collaboration is the key to progress. Collaboration, not competition. And that's exactly what I'm here for. So thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Horse Business today. Next time, I'm not sure what you're going to get next time, but at some point in the future, you would also get the following steps of the REINS system. There's the I for innovation, the N for nurturing relationships, and the S for then how we scale that. So please keep an eye out for those. Thank you ever so much for joining me on this episode. And until then, lead with clarity, find your clients, and let's start making your business work for you.